Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday carry people. It's the Big Canucker here. I'm back from my little bit of a hiatus. I am still recovering from surgery that I had happen there, so my channel has been inert for a little bit. And I really appreciate your patience, but you know what? I'm stuck at home, and it's going to be another 3 weeks before I still get this cast off. So I'm still not able to walk, but I am doing better. And it's going to take a while for me to be walking again, probably in the next 4 or 5 months here. What happened is I had some titanium pins taken out of my foot and put back in my foot. And so far she's been about 11 of them. And so what they ended up doing is they took some bone out of my knee and they put it inside my foot to fuse a joint. And they put a long, I think 5-inch titanium screw from my big toe right into my ankle, running right through my whole foot in order to support it, because I blew it apart one time at work, and it's just not been a very good situation. It's been 3 years and 3 surgeries, and yeah, I'm getting pretty used to being at home. But now I just want to kind of go over something here. This is not going to be a full term review. This is actually just going to be kind of an initial impressions about this particular knife here. It is a Victorinox Skipper, and I just want to say thank you to one of my subscribers who sent me this knife and wanted me to have a look at it. And no strings attached. You know, he said just have a, take it for as long as you need it. And if I want, maybe we can figure something out on a little bit of a trade, or if not, I can send it back. But I really, really appreciate it. You know who you are. You said not to mention, so I won't. But I just want to say thank you very much. So this is going to be just kind of an initial impressions of this knife. As I've said, I've not had a lot of time to do any sort of everyday carry things, so I can't give you a whole complete rundown on a lot of this stuff works. But you know what? It is Victorinox. They have a darn good product, so I'm sure that this is a wonderful knife. But let's kind of go over, and I'll give you my first impressions. Probably the first thing that everybody wants to know about is the blade. And on this particular one, it is a lockable blade, and you've got the lock button on the side, and it is the only tool out of all of them that lock. And this particular blade here has got the straight section here, and then it's got the I am absolutely blanking on this knife blade. Serrations. Oh my goodness, I can't believe a knife guy forgot the word serrations. Well, you know what? It's all the drugs that I've been taking recently. So you've got yourself about a 3-inch blade here. The entire thing here is the first 3/4 of it is serrated, and you've got a flat spot here. It is a chisel ground, and I have to tell you, right out of the box, this is brand new. It is wickedly sharp. I did a little bit of cutting with it, a little bit of cardboard just to check it out, and these serrations saw through. Now, this knife here, I have to tell you, is probably a knife that is a I guess you'd call it a marine knife. So if you're going to be doing stuff like sawing through ropes, you're going to want the serrations. The serrations will saw through the fibrous material, and it is a really, really nice little easy locking system. It allows you to just pull it back and lock it. You've got the nail nick, and it'll just lock into place like this. And it is side-to-side motion is good. Tiny bit of up and down motion, but nothing to really worry about. And yeah, so there we go with that. Now we've also got in this, we'll go from back to front. We've got the can opener with the large flat screwdriver, as well as the wire bender here at the bottom. And I suppose you could use that little nick there to say to maybe strip wires. Also, it's a wire bender. You can get in there, kind of bend some of that wire, that small gauge wire that's a solid strand. And I imagine you could also grab the end of probably some thin sheet metal, and you can kind of use it to bend as well. You've also got a half stop here too as well. It's a 50% stop, and it's also a can opener. And then on the other side here, you've got, without the half stop, it's straight open, is the famous Victorinox can opener, which it works extremely well. I haven't used it on this, but I have used it on one of my other models just to try it out. And the can opener is very, very intuitive, and it is a great little can opener. And on the end, you've got the small flathead too as well. So we'll lock those up here. I'm not going to go to the next line because that one's kind of... So another here you've got is a set of pliers. And with the hardened snip too as well. If you look here right in the center, you can see that it's got the cutting here as well for some small gauge wires, and then in the back you've got the crimp. So it'll grab a hold of, say, a nut or something. It'll also cut, and it'll also crimp here too as well. So it's kind of a 3-in-1. Now below that tool, in the bottom here, you've got a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. And I guess, you know what, it is machined so well that you could use a number 1 or a number 2 too as well. I've heard that it'll do them both, 1 and 2. So it is a really, really well machined screwdriver. And it is an inline screwdriver. I know a lot of people are used to having that screwdriver at the bottom where it's like a, I guess kind of a T handle. This seems like it'll be all right if you kind of have to get into an area. So that goes down first, and then the screwdriver or the pliers go over top of them. Now on the back here, you've got the corkscrew for, you know, getting out some cork. I don't know if you drink wine or if you're a cork sucker and you need to get your cork out, then this is the corkscrew for you. And I guess, you know, Victorinox makes a good corkscrew. I don't drink, so I can't tell you, but my wife does. So the next time she wants to open up a bottle of wine, I'm going to say, whoa, we're going to try it out with this cork removal tool from the fine folks at Victorinox. And then, of course, we've got the awl, which the sewing hole in it too as well. So you could use this to ream holes in wood. You could use it to punch and sew leather, as well as sail, because after all, this is a marine application knife. So you can use this to pop holes, and I guess if you've got some torn sail, this awl will help you out. On the ends, you've got some tweezers, which I think are handy little tools. I've used these tweezers to get out little small thorns and stuff like that. They're a great little tool to have. And then on the other side, you've got your toothpick. And I've yet to really use a toothpick in the Victorinox brand. Just never really think about it. The other thing too, though, it's nice that you have this little hole here. I've seen little tiny ferro rods that are about the size of your toothpick that you can use your knife blade and you can start a fire with. And I mean, you know, it being the size of a toothpick, it's not going to last you a super long time. But if you're in the bush and you happen to have an accident, you get stranded, and you've got this knife on you, hey, one more piece of fire making equipment will be nothing but a help, and it could save your life. So have a look for that out there too as well. And of course, you've got the lanyard here too as well. And I happen to just tie myself a just nice long lanyard on this. It's red. I decided to go with the red lanyard instead of the leather lanyard, just because it is kind of a marine applications and outdoors, and if you drop it, you want to be able to see it. So, and it's nice that there is no pocket clip on this knife, so this nice little lanyard is so nice and long that it can sit inside your pocket like so, and then you just need to pull your lanyard and you can pull the thing right out. I've also got one that clips to your belt, and I'll have to use that and give you guys an idea about that. Now, the one thing here that really, really intrigues me, that the final tool I want to talk about is actually this particular tool. Now, they call it a marlin spike or a shackle opener. I'm not too sure if you're familiar what a shackle is, but a shackle is just basically a U, and then you've got a bolt that runs right through, and it's got an oblong cap end that you can just basically click on there and turn, and it undoes the shackle. That's a real big thing that you have in a lot of nautical areas. But this marlin spike, it looks like it's a really handy little tool for, you know, digging into areas, for opening up knots, for doing some marlin. You can actually put a small enough bolt in there. There's all sorts of applications for this marlin tool, or this marlin spike. And I am going to kind of go over this. Hopefully I'll have a chance to use this once my foot heals up, and then I will kind of give you guys a long-term use on this. But so far, I'm really quite impressed with this tool. It's got a good weight to it without being super overly heavy. To give you guys a little bit of specs on this, it's 111 millimeters long, which is a little over 4 inches. The weight is 183 grams, which I'm not too sure of the ounces, but it looks, I'm going to guess it somewhere around 5 ounces or so. Just a really nice, you know, hefty without being overly so a knife. 23 millimeters wide, so just a smidge under an inch wide. and with a lot of tools here. So, I mean, it's got the, I guess they call it the polyamide outside coating scales on here. They're not the shiny scales. They've got a little bit of, they're kind of smooth, but they've got a tiny bit of texture to them. The fit and finish on the Victorinox product is extremely well. I mean, there's nothing rubbing in here. It all opens up extremely nice. Nothing was scratched, nothing was damaged, and everything is extremely smooth with this knife. And I really, really think that this is going to be something that I can throw in my pocket and go camping with, and use that serrated blade to do some food prep, or even do a little bit of woodworking with it. And I'm really looking forward to using that marlin spike. I think that's going to be a heck of a tool to use. Now, this tool also comes in a couple of different ways there in the nautical theme. You've got a Skipper Pro with, instead of having this type of marlin spike, you've got a solid thick bar that's kind of curved as well, if memory serves me correctly. And I do believe you also have got the one-handed opening knife with just the one. It's got the, of course, the one-handed knife has got the hole in it, so it opens up, and it well as I do believe it's lockable too as well. And then you can also get this tool too as well in something called, I think it's called the Helm Master. And it comes with almost all these things in there, other than you don't get these pliers, and you don't get the inline Phillips. The Phillips is on the back, as well as there's no corkscrew on it too as well. And it's a little bit less money. I really, really like this tool. I'm a little bit leery about these pliers. They seem like they're kind of small. They don't open up extremely large, but you never know, they could come in handy. If I had a choice though, I think I would prefer something with the scissors in them. Just my own opinion. I use the scissors on my little small Fieldmaster, on my Victorinox Spirit. I've used the scissors on that already. On my Leatherbins, I've used the scissors on those. That's probably the most used tool on any of my multi-tools, is the scissors. So just making sure I'm not missing any other tools on here. But so far, I think this is a great little tool. Doesn't seem like it's a super #1 seller. There's a lot more tools out there that people like, but I think this reamer is going to be a game changer. I just think it's something that will be used quite a bit, and hopefully, well, time will tell. So, just on my initial impressions, without using this knife for a long time, would I recommend it? I think so. I think this is a great knife to have in your pocket. I think it's a great knife to have in your collection. And even though a lot of us aren't nautical people, we're always dealing with ropes, being on the as EDC people on the outside camping. So we're always dealing with serrations, needing a serrated blade and a locking blade. I think this could be a great little weekend knife to just throw in your pocket. All right, so that's it for this right now. I guess probably on a scale of 1 to 10 in, say, multi-tool knives, I'm going to give this probably I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Just loses a little bit because I just think I would love to see scissors over pliers. And the other thing I would like to see is a one-handed opening knife. Those are the two things that I wish this had, and it would be a 10 out of 10 for me. So, all right. So thanks for stopping by. Now, if you like what you've seen, please subscribe and please like, because it is very important to me. I want to hit 1 million subscribers one of these days. So I've got a long way to go. So you can help me out by clicking that subscribe and that like. And thank you very much for visiting me. So please keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up, and the pointy end away from your bits.